Hey guys, how we feeling about that season opening Rangers series? It was a series win. More importantly, how is Jacob deGrom feeling? We'll find out next on today's DLLS Rangers podcast. Yeah, I guess that's the only question really hanging over the Rangers right now is how is Jacob deGrom? Word is he's doing well. Great work by Jake Latz, who I texted with after the game. He really liked how he did, and he should. 4 scoreless innings Saturday. Anyway, we'll get into all that here in a second. I'm Jeff Wilson. You can see my Twitter account there. You should follow me. Elijah's in here manning the control panel, if you will, and making the show work and making me look good, which, again, is not easy to do. See you guys already in the chat, fired up. Glad you're here. Shane, yeah, I did. I was checking, man. I was ready for you to buy me that beer, but we'll do it another time for sure. I never turn down a free beer. But anyway, great start to the season. Benny, you are correct. To win 2 out of 3 at hostile Philly against a team that really could win the National League. Yes, BC, if you're here, Dodgers, sorry. Phillies are pretty darn good. But long way to go. Let's not get too excited just yet. Rangers are off to Baltimore. They bust down there because it's like 45 minutes, an hour to get from Philly to Baltimore, and get there tonight. A little rain potentially in the forecast today, but the weather the next 2 days is supposed to look pretty darn sharp. So anyway, sorry I'm not at Camden Yards. Always like going there. Well, I take that back. I like the ballpark, but the weather, there's always like extremes. So like this time of year, it's kind of cold. Although again, the next 2 days it's supposed to be pretty nice. But in the summer, it's a damn sweat box in that press box. Anyway, enough about the woes of the media. Let's get into what happened as we do a little kind of a recap of the last 2 games. We got the opener, talked about that on the Friday show, but now we will do a little backtracking. I don't know what we want to call this segment. I was thinking just the facts, but now that we're I don't know, weekend recap, crap, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. We're going to talk about the games from Saturday and Sunday. All right. We know that the Rangers lost on opening day 5-3. Had the day off Friday, come back and they win 5-4 in 10 innings Saturday, Sunday 8-3. Jacob deGrom, the surprise news about 4 hours before first pitch, the Rangers announced he was scratched with neck stiffness. Like we said there at the top, Jacob Latz entered, did a good job. The latest on deGrom is that he played catch Sunday, reportedly felt very, very good. I got it from Chris Young, as our sons played each other this weekend in baseball. And then, so the reports are he's much better. The plan is for him to start Tuesday. He'll have to throw today, make sure all that stuff is worked out and knocked out. And if it is, Jacob deGrom tomorrow, and that'll shuffle the rotation. It already had, because Jack Leiter starting tonight's game. He was scheduled to start the Tuesday game with Kamar Rocker going tonight. But now it's switched. Rocker's kind of the long man right now, while Latz, who was the long man, is not available to pitch. I wonder if the Rangers can avoid a catastrophe where they don't need a long man the next 2 games, if Rocker would start Wednesday, which would push Eovaldi into the home opener, or if they would just go with Eovaldi to keep him on turn. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Anyway, Saturday, I wrote about it at alldls.com/Rangers. It was quite a game, and a lot happened. They built a 3-0 lead, the Rangers did, against Aaron Nola. Couple homers, Corey Seager, solo homer in the first. Jake Berger, he had a 2-run homer. And again, Latz was great. 4 scoreless innings. He ended up walking a guy to start the 5th, hit his pitch count, which was right around 75. So in an emergency start, he answered the call, was way better than he was at all during spring training. So maybe when the lights go on, that's when Jake Latz comes on. 3 relievers followed him with 4 scoreless innings, and it was really good. Little hairy with Cole Winn there in that 5th as he loaded the bases, but he got Trey Turner on 3 straight cutters. Really good work. And then Jalen Beeks, who pitched the first 2 games, looked good. And then Jacob Junis making his Rangers debut. Perfect in the 7th and the 8th, 6 up, 6 down. Bang, it's 3-0. And here comes the bullpen. Robert Garcia made a lot of sense matchup-wise, facing Schwarber. Harper left on left matchup. He disposes of them easily. All the heavy lifting is done, and he doesn't get the next 2 guys. Right-handed hitters, Alex Bohm singles. Edmundo Sosa, the pinch hitter, walks. All right, here comes Chris Martin. Bring him in. Face Adolis Garcia. First pitch, job done, right? Well, Jake Burger didn't quite catch the pop-up. In Jake's defense, that wind was unbelievable Saturday. It was either blowing in or it was blowing from left to right. Might have been swirling, whatever it was, and it was sunny at times. Jake didn't catch it. At bat continued. Adolis RBI double. Next batter was Brandon Marsh, and Chris Martin, as he always does, got ahead in the count, but Marsh slapped a single. Game's tied. Catastrophe on hand. So we go to the extra innings. Rangers get their free runner home. It was Nimmo on a wild pitch by Duran. And so I think Langford had singled Nimmo to third. Seager strikes out. Burger strikes out. And who does that bring up? Andrew McCutchen. And what does he do? He turns around a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, RBI single, makes it 5-3. And that was huge. Critical insurance run, because in the 10th, they're not coming for me. In the 10th, here comes Tyler Alexander. All right, the Rangers were down to Tyler Alexander, Carter Baumler, or Kamar Rocker, who they really did not want to use. And so they went with Alexander, got 2 outs. Bryce Harper knocked in a run. So that brought up Bohm with 2 outs. Tying run is at third. Alexander almost hit him a couple times. Gets the 3-1, throws a good pitch to get it to 3-2, then gets Bohm to pop out. Rangers win, just like that. Piece of cake. Big win. Skip Schumacher's first as Rangers manager. It was the first Rangers win of the season. And Tyler Alexander's second career save. Gallagher champ. Is Hooters on fire again? I sure hope not. Craig Ludwig really hopes not. So anyway, hey, a win is a win, ultimately. You're going to win some games like that. You're going to lose some games like that. Sunday, MacKenzie Gore, first start for the Rangers, and he was fantastic. He didn't allow a hit through the first 5 innings. He ended up issuing 2 in the 6th and 2 runs in 5 1/3 inning. Terrific stuff from him after, again, kind of an up-and-down spring. And then Andrew McCutchen, he just continued to hit, knocked out a 3-run homer, had a double off the left field wall. In his first series, 9 at-bats, 4 for 9, 1444 OPS, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs. Let's get him in the lineup, right? Brandon Nimmo, first homer for the Rangers, 2-run shot off of Luzardo. He can hit lefties, this Nimmo guy, so that's looking pretty good. Wynn, Martin, Garcia, they all pitched yesterday, so they pitched in back-to-back games on back-to-back days. So kind of wondering what the bullpen's going to look like tonight. But Skip Schumacher, he does what he has to do that day to win a game, and he leaves the roster decisions up to the front office. It's a nice combination, nice working relationship there. My guess is that Junis, Alexander, Beeks, Baumler, who did pitch yesterday, and Rocker would be the 5 relievers today. Anyway, that's the weekend. 2 wins, a winning series. Rangers, first place in the American League West. Let's go. It's the Rangers, and then the next 3 teams, the Astros, Mariners, the Angels are 2-2, and then the poor A's 0-3. after getting swept against the reigning American League champions, Toronto at Toronto. But, it's just the first series of the season. There's a long way to go, 160 more to go. But guess what? We're going to overreact. Overreaction Monday, buy or sell Monday. Are you guys going to buy or sell on the following? Andrew McCutchen will become an everyday player by May 15th. I'm buying on that one. All right. Now, granted, it depends on Jock, obviously. If Jock is hot, which we all have doubts about, then yeah, it's a layup. If there's an injury, McCutchen could just take the job and run. Wally Pip somebody. But man, guy looks good. Talked about him on Friday's shows. I'd written a story about how just open and grateful he was to be in this spot. And he said he's going to do his best, try his hardest, harder than hard. And so far, so good. I think this guy saw the light at the end of the baseball career tunnel and got a second chance and is going to take advantage of it. All right. Buy or sell. Jake Burger will be an offensive force in this lineup this year. He became the first player in Rangers history with 5 or more hits, 2 or more homers, and 4 or more RBIs over the team's first 2 games of a season, which really surprised me. But he had another hit yesterday, I believe. So are we buying Jake Burger? I'm going to buy on Jake Burger. I think Jake is in a good place. He knows his strike zone now. He believes in his routine, sticking to it. I'm going to buy on that. All right. Wyatt Langford will meet preseason expectations. Wyatt went 1 for 14 in the opening series. Are we buying still on Wyatt Langford? Well, yeah, we got to buy. It's only 3 games. Everybody thinks he's a superstar, and he's got the superstar talent. So we're going to go with buy on that. Okay. Josh Young. He will continue to struggle and eventually lose playing time. I'm buying that one. He was 0 for 12 the first weekend. I just don't know about him. It looks like the same old Josh. He did get robbed once by Adolis, but man, it's not looking good, but it's early. All right, and then buy or sell, Robert Garcia, 15 saves. Are we buying Robert Garcia 15 saves this season? I'm selling. That's I think somebody better is going to emerge. I just think there's that opportunity. Anyway, all right, guys, we are going to go to our first ad break, and when we get back, we will talk about a couple kids who did pretty good in Nashville once upon a time in baseball. We'll do that right after this on the BLLS Rangers podcast. Hey, guys, I want to welcome a new sponsor on board, FanDuel Predicts. Thanks to them for joining and hopping on the train. A lot of momentum building here at DLLS Sports. Look, it's the prediction market. It's not the same as daily fantasy sports, but it's a little different, and I'm trying to learn it myself. But anyway, they say it's time to put your glass slippers over your lucky socks. Hope for some fairy tale endings. I guess the only fairy tale left in the tournament is Illinois at this point. But it starts when you put $10 on FanDuel Predicts, and they'll match it with a $10 bonus. Buckle up for buzzer beaters that break the brackets, shots that silence arenas, runs that rewrite history. Take a position on the spread, total points, or winning team. Follow the action in real time. March matchups are on FanDuel Predicts. All right. Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. Must be 18 years or older. 1 per user. Minimum $10 deposit required. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our customer protection tools. Whew. All right. Now let's go to Shady Rays. They are one of the original sponsors, and they're back because we are kicking butt and taking names. So does Shady Rays. They have fantastic polarized sunglasses, and they're affordable, they're durable. But even if for some reason they aren't durable, or if you lose them, Shady Rays, no questions asked. you let them know they're sending you the exact same pair. You can't beat that deal anywhere, really in anything, not just sunglasses, but in anywhere. I've never seen it before. So if you use the code SRDLLS, you'll get $40 off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can do the code there, DLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. That's ShadyRays.com. Hey guys, back here. Before we get into the Vandy boys, this happened right before the show started. The Rangers outrighted Dairon Blanco to AAA Round Rock. I think he can take free agency. Anyway, there you go. Another depth piece, I guess. That's looking like a deep veteran team down there at Round Rock. And we'll talk about Round Rock a little later. All right, so yeah, the Vandy boys. We know who they are. Jack Leiter, Kamar Rocker. Leiter will have the opener tonight at Camden Yards against Chris Bassett. And then it's TBA from the Rangers, and then Zach Eflin and left-hander Trevor Rogers on Wednesday in the series finale, getaway day. So probably going to see Jock Peterson twice, but the focus is going to be on, at least tonight for sure, Jack Leiter. Now this is year 2 of Leiter and Rocker. Probably should be year 1, honestly, if we're being honest. But they were, Vanderbilt teammates in 2020. The season was struck down by COVID, and then 2021 draft went different directions with Leiter going 2nd overall to the Rangers. Rocker, who entered the year the number 1 on most of the draft boards, he fell to 10th with some injury concerns. Indeed, the Mets found some, didn't sign him, so he went back into the draft pool. Had a little shoulder surgery, as Scott Boras tried to downplay it. It's kind of been come to learn it was a little more serious than Scott was letting on. But anyway, the Rangers selected him 3rd overall in 2022. Then Rocker went and had Tommy John surgery. I mean, he didn't do it voluntarily, but in 23, when he was at high A the first month, the elbow went. They both, though, made their MLB debuts in 2024, and they both made the starting rotation last year, kind of out of necessity with the injuries to Bradford and to Gray in spring training. It looked like Jack was going to make the team as a reliever, but Rocker was having an awful spring and looked like he was ticketed to AAA, but hey, things happen. Still waiting to see when Rocker is going to make his debut. He did pitch, I think I mentioned on the show Friday, he pitched Tuesday in surprise against the Royals. 5 innings in the game, another inning in the bullpen, worked on his changeup and cutter a lot. So it sounds like he's ready to go, and he's very grateful for this opportunity to be in the rotation to edge out Jake Latz, and so he's got to take advantage of it. So Leiter last season 10-10, 3.86 ERA, 151 and 2/3 innings. Second half he was pretty good, 5-4, 3.28. He learned to trust his stuff in the strike zone, which is a critical thing for every pitcher. He said he learned it by watching Jacob deGrom just throw the ball and not have any worries about it. Well, Jack has always been a high aptitude guy, so makes a lot of sense. This spring, Jack went 3-1, 3.38 ERA, 6 starts, 18 strikeouts, and 3 walks. 3 walks, pretty good. If Jack is going to take the next step, he has to be more efficient. Has to be more efficient in the strike zone. Can't have 17, 18, 22 pitch innings if he wants to get into the 6th and the 7th. That's the next step. The delivery looks the same. This was the first spring I remember Jack Leiter not doing something significant with his delivery. Makes you think he's confident in it. He found something, feels good about his mechanics. He worked on the cutter that some outlets made a big deal of. It's not going to be a featured pitch. All right, he's going to throw it, try to maybe get some early outs, a different look. It's still a forcing fastball at 100, slider, that kick change that he's worked on. And Jack, while he didn't have to earn his rotation spot in spring training, he knows he is not established, and so he wants to keep working on that. Rocker, like I said, made the opening day roster last year out of necessity, and it didn't go great. He had some okay outings for sure, Overall, though, he was 4-5 with a 5.74 ERA in 14 starts. Got sent down on July the 31st after the Rangers acquired 3 pitchers, and he didn't come back to the majors. He stayed in the AAA, made 1 start, worked for about 5 or 6 weeks on mechanics, got a little blow, and then made 1 start that covered, I don't even think, 3 innings there at the end of the year. So there were some questions when he came into camp. Is he going to make the team? Where is he? And it turned out he was pretty good. His fastball was good. His command was better. Slider, Skip Schumacher said it's as good as anybody's off-speed pitch in baseball, which is amazing praise. But he has some things still to work on. We saw the trouble with the running game, right? In that's last start he made in Arizona when the Royals just ran at will. Well, that was a huge problem last year. That was a reason why he got sent to the minor leagues to work on this stuff. And it still needs work. So, if he can keep runners off base, great. But they're going to get on. And so he needs to be able to control it and keep runners from taking the extra 90 feet. It could be huge. It turns a 2-out single into a double and then another hit, and it's a run for the other team. He also still is really shaky covering first base. Holy cow. And that only comes with game reps. That's what the Rangers sent him down for last year. Kumar Rocker, this is the most stunning stat about him. 38 career professional games. I don't include the ones he threw in the Atlantic League before the draft in 22. 38 career professional games. The guy just hasn't played a lot of baseball at the professional level and definitely not at the major league level. I think he's up to 17 games in the majors. But it's the big velo, it's the good slider, changeup that he's working on to combat lefties, because lefties got him pretty hard last year. 319 average, 908 OPS. He was also dreadful on the road. 1-5, 9.29 ERA and 8 road starts. So, and that's not unusual for a young pitcher. So he's got some things to work on. But again, a good spring. It's just the little things. And like Benny said, Benny, I saw your deal up earlier in the chat. Rocker needs to pitch well to keep Latz from taking his job. And then you're not wrong. So, Skip Schumacher said the other day that he viewed this as an opportunity for Latz, the start Saturday. And Latz, as he did a lot of times last year, picked up the ball and ran with it. He was really, really good. So maybe he just needs the third deck. And you see a lot of pitchers do that. MacKenzie Gore kind of did it yesterday afternoon. It wasn't spring training. Maybe they were dialed in. Maybe they got a little extra velo on their pitches just because of the adrenaline they were feeling. Whatever it was, it works. It's real. So yeah, Rocker has to continue, has to perform. Just because the roster is set doesn't mean that the competition for roster spots ends. So we're going to see how that one goes. But then another question here between Latz, between Rocker, how long would they be in the rotation? Because Cody Bradford is still coming back. The window, it seems like it's been pushed back as I thought it would. It was looking at early May at the start of spring training. Now I think the earliest would be middle May. He should be joining Round Rock or Frisco, whichever one, to start a rehab assignment fairly soon. It'll start out like a spring training, 2 innings, 30 pitches, then slowly build up by 15, 3-45, 4-60, like that. Maybe at 4-60, the Rangers could toy with bringing him back, maybe as a reliever, but I think they'd probably want him to get to 5, maybe even a couple times before they consider him for the major league roster. Tyler Alexander. If you're talking about him as a starter, yeah, it's a possibility. He's done it before. I wondered. I actually asked Skip Schumacher if they thought about using Alexander. They went with Latz, but that's something. McJowers, do you think Montgomery will come back in the bullpen? That's a long way away, July or August, and who knows what the rotation will look like at that point. unfortunately, injuries are a real thing, and unfortunately, there's some two guys at the top of the rotation with some injury history. So you do wonder, who will be the 5 starters at that point. So I think it's possible that he's back in the bullpen. I think it's possible he's back in the rotation. We'll have to wait and see. It's interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing him when he's able to pitch. He is throwing off a mound now. He's just throwing bullpen sessions. Should be graduating from fastballs to off-speed pitches soon if he hasn't already. I just want to see fit Jordan Montgomery. I mean, he was pretty good when he was unfit, but he said after the Rangers signed him that he got to the point where it's like, all right, I need to lose some weight. And so he did. He had the opportunity to do so while dealing with the arm stuff. He's trimmed down into the 230s. I think he said he was at 258 when he was with the Rangers in 23 in the playoffs. Moved pretty well, made arguably the playoff changing game there, or play, diving in game 1 to take that popped up bunt away from the Rays. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. Got out of it, and the rest is World Series history. So good for the Rangers, good for Jordan. So they're going to have some options. So we'll see. Rob, how we doing today? Will Schumacher continue to show more bunt opportunities like we saw with Zeke? Maybe. It's pretty interesting to listen to Skip talk. I think Skip, he did say this. He's treating the Rangers like they're an old National League team, and by old I mean like 5 years ago before universal DH. I think there will be bunts. I really think that if the situation calls for it, you will see guys who can handle the bat, bunt or hit and run, something like that. I don't think you'll see any double switches, unfortunately. Those are really hard to pull off these days without a pitcher hitting. But Skip grew up with Tony La Russa as his manager in the National League. I don't think Skip ever played in the American League. So, yeah, his background is National League baseball. And it probably would serve the Rangers well. They hit some home runs over the weekend, but you're not always going to knock it out of the park. Wants to have a diverse lineup that can beat you in a bunch of ways. And if it means small ball, if it's 3-2 and you need a run, maybe he has somebody to lay a bunt down and try to get him home from third, something like that. Anyway, all right, another ad break coming. And when we get back, we're going to talk about a couple things that I saw this morning that are kind of fun, ABS and the Hopo meter, when we come back on the DLS Rangers podcast. Hey guys, time for me to tell you how awesome Prize Picks is. I do it every day except when I'm in Pennsylvania where it wasn't permitted. But prizepicks.com/DLS, place a $5 lineup, get $50 in free lineups. What's a lineup, you ask? Well, you can select 2 to 6 players and whether they will have more or less than their predicted point total. You can do all kinds of sports. I did a tennis lineup today. I've got one that has both baseball and NBA in it later today. So it's just a lot of fun, and you don't break the bank at all. I did a $3 lineup. That's my wheelhouse right there. I'm not trying to win baby new shoes. I'm just trying to have a little fun, add some excitement to my sports viewing, and it works. I just have a great time with it. PrizePicks.com/DLLS, $5 lineup, $50 in free lineups. And then what would a show be without hearing about Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market, 9 DFW locations. You can go to their website, wildforkfoods.com. Or if you become a member for $29 for a year, not only can you shop online, but they will deliver it either same day or next day. The Stars group was out there at the Louisville location over the weekend where they had rack of lamb, so that just tells you the variety. You can get a rack of lamb. You can get kangaroo meat. You can just get steak or chicken or turkey or pork, seafood, shrimps. It's just amazing how much meat they have, how many different varieties of cuts from all over the world. And I can guarantee you that these people that work there, they're our friends. They're so knowledgeable, so smart, and they want to give you the best deal on meats in the area, Wild Fork Food, meat, and seafood markets. All right, guys, moving along. MacKenzie Gore and Andrew McCutchen and Brandon Nimmo weren't the only ones to debut for the Rangers. They're, in baseball with new teams. The ABS debuted officially this weekend, and hope everybody's enjoying it. It's going to be something that helps the game. It's the best thing ever is the pitch clock. I think this is going to be a second to that because it's slowing the game, not by much. I mean, it's very, very fast, but number one goal in life is a fast game. All right, a few thoughts from around the league. And there were some concerns, and everybody, I think, knew this was going to happen. There are some umpires who are going to be challenged regularly, frequently in games. Also, teams are going to do it differently. The Rangers want to be very strategic. Skip Schumacher always wants one challenge for the late innings when they might have more importance, leverage, all that stuff. They've only tried 3 so far, and they went 1 for 3. So my son was watching the game yesterday afternoon when Higashioka challenged, and my son was like, "That's not even close," and he's right. It was a bad challenge. Anyway, there's a website out there. It's kind of fun. Taptochallenge.com. Taptochallenge.com, and then you can follow umpire scorecards on Twitter, and they've gotten a lot more colorful this year because they've had to add some different shades for the challenges. Anyway, good stuff. All right, so about those umpires, I know somebody mentioned CB Buckner in the chat earlier. He had 6 overturns, and he wasn't the worst one. All right, the worst was Chad Siegel, not Seagal. How about Seagal? Like the old martial arts guy. Steven, that's his name. All right, so Chad Seagal, 10 challenges, 7 overturns in his first time behind the plate. CB, I believe it was in the Red Sox game. No, I might have made that up. Anyway, 8 challenges, 6 overturns. And then Chad Whitson, he was not good. 7 challenges, and they were all overturned. So got to watch out for old Chad Whitson. Now, if we're going to mention the bad, we need to mention the good. Bruce Dreckman, Will Little, David Rackley, no overturns and 11 combined challenges. So they're not all bad. As expected, catchers so far are leading the way in challenges and correct challenges. Edgar Cuero, the White Sox young catcher, he challenged 7 pitches. 4 were overturned, so 4 for 7. I guess that's better than 500, but some misses in there. Salvador Perez is 4 for 4, and we saw JT Realmuto for the Phillies go 3 for 3. There are some gray areas, and I kind of mentioned one, might have been Wednesday's show. When the Rangers in the Tuesday exhibition game against the Royals, first inning right off the bat, 3-2 count, Brandon Nimmo runs, ball 4 to Wyatt Langford. So Nimmo slows down and kind of, walks into second base. Well, guess what? The Royals challenged. And it was a ball, so the call was upheld. But what if it is what had been overturned? I asked a lot of guys about it. Well, not a lot. I asked 3 guys about it. Corey Ragsdale, the third base coach, Brandon Nimmo, the runner in question, and Skip Schumacher. And Skip said this is going to be the number 1 gray area in the ABS because it's up to the umpire's discretion. And I think the umpires will be all different, So basically, this is going to happen in a lot of 3-ball counts, okay? So, you send a runner to try to keep him out of a double play, keep the team out of a double play. And if it's ball 4, and he slows down, it's up to the umpire. So did he slow down early enough? Was there intent to try to steal the base? And then he was like, oh, no, I'm going to pull up. And It's just he skips right. It's going to be messy, and what's supposed to happen is the runner's supposed to go back to first. If the 3-2 pitch, is called a challenge and called a strike, the runner's supposed to be allowed to go back to first. But may not happen. So you're going to see this a lot when they're trying to stay out of double plays, and then always on a full count, and then 2 outs, runners go just because you can do that if there's runners at first or first and second or even the bases loaded. So I think Skip Schumacher is bracing for the worst, and really they don't know. Brandon Nimmo's like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I know what's supposed to happen, but and I think the umpires need to realize, like, if they see Alejandro Kirk running, Alejandro Kirk is not going to steal bases. If they see who's the slowest Ranger, I wouldn't say Berger. I'd probably say Jansen or Higashioka. If they see the catchers trying to steal a base, they probably need to be like, all right, this guy was not trying to steal the base. He can go back. Find out. Now, if a play can, if that happens and the ball goes into center field, the runner still has to go back to first. He does not get third base. So, and then there was another gray area that popped up in the Orioles-Twins game the other day. The manager for the Twins, Derek Shelton, he got ejected because he argued that Orioles pitcher Ryan Helsley, who the Rangers might see tonight, as soon as tonight, took too long to tap his head. So that's another gray area. How long is how long? I don't know, but it already costs Derek Shelton a few $100. So got to sit and watch that one and see how that turns out. All right, we're going to shift gears here to the Hopometer that the Athletic surveyed 11,000 readers and had them vote, how optimistic are you about your season? And I thought it was pretty interesting. There you go. There's the Hopometer. The top 5, as you see, Dodgers, Blue Jays, Mariners, Tigers, Royals. Royals, pretty interesting. Bottom 5. Should be no surprise. Rays, Rockies, Nationals, Angels, Twins, all predicted, I believe, to be last in their division. So, I want to say they didn't do a lot this offseason, but it seems like the Nationals or the Angels were active. They just didn't, sign a lot of great guys. Rangers fans, 14th most hopeful about their team's chances. So good for you guys. I was a little surprised. Third in the West, behind the A's at number 12. So a lot of A's fans are buying into the hype. The Astros are at 24. So what's up with that? Well, they didn't have a great offseason. The core that helped them to all those division titles and a couple World Series, one with an asterisk, they're gone or they're getting older. Josh Hader is hurt. The rotation, not great. All right. If Mike Burrows is your, or Burrow, whatever, is your number 2 starter, you're probably not loaded up with pitching. And then there's still some minor league depth problems. So, yeah, I can understand it. All right. A couple other ones that stood out to me. White Sox at 23, not the bottom 5. Okay. So there's some encouragement there. And there's some reason for that. They made some moves. They signed Murakawa, the Japanese guy, and he homered in his debut game. Signed a closer. They did some stuff. So it looks like the White Sox are trending in the right direction. The Yankees, though, only one spot ahead of them in 22nd. That's probably about right. I would assume that the Yankees are a mostly negative fan base. Where are the Phillies? I forgot. The Phillies, 18. I think fan bases that generally loudly boo their own players are going to be kind of in the bottom half or towards the bottom. The Yankees, I know they didn't make a ton of moves this offseason. They've got, Cole still out and Rodon is on the injured list and Volpe's on the injured list, which Yankees fans are probably happy about. But still a pretty good team, as they showed going 3-0 over the Giants, shutting them out, for the first 2 games. So, Yankees fans, let's have a reality check, please. Anyway, that's the hope-o-meter. And I guess we kind of asked this the other day, or maybe it was Monday's show. We're kind of talking about where do we predict the Rangers going. I think a little bit above 500. That was what I said beforehand. Yeah, Mets already booing Bichette. That's right. So I'm going to guess the Mets are down below, although they made a ton of moves. Orioles fans should be high. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Misty. Thanks. I didn't read that closely, I guess. But yeah, I guess the Yankees, the East is going to be tough, and the Red Sox got better, Orioles got better, Blue Jays, even though they lost Bichette, got a lot better on the pitching, right? Tampa Bay didn't do much. So, yeah, I could see pessimism that way, but I still think the Yankees can make the playoffs. Kelly, man, hope correlates with owner spending. Well, all right, maybe. The Rangers didn't necessarily spend a ton this offseason, but still middle of the pack hopeful. So I think the Yankees can make the playoffs. Tigers, I don't see the Royals making the playoffs, though, despite how optimistic they are in Kansas City. Cleveland looks like they'll be all right. The Tigers, we all knew were going to be okay. And then the West, Mariners, 2-2, okay, played a good team. But I think there are some Mariners problems, and then the old Rangers, Astros. Could the Rangers make the playoffs? Yes, they better win the division though. I would say they need to win the division to ensure it, obviously. But with that East with 4 teams that could make the playoffs, and maybe 2 or 3 from the Central, it's gonna be hard to get a wild card spot. So. Gonna have to see how that one turns out. But all right. I hope you enjoyed the ABS. I hope you guys are all filled with hope, because hope is a good thing, as Andy Dufresne used to say. Okay, let's go to our last ad break, and when we come back, we will do batting cleanup. I saw a lot of questions that I skipped over, so we'll try to get some of those too, and we'll do that right after this on the DLS Rangers podcast. Hey, Supporters Club, true sicko level stuff, as I always like to say. It is the diehard membership for our YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com/ at DLS_sports. Takes you to our homepage. Hit the join button. That'll take you through the process where you can get sweet emojis, and also, more importantly, videos that nobody else gets to see unless they are in the Supporters Club. Videos from all of our beats, not just me. I've got one that's got to be coming up here pretty soon. I haven't heard from Kat on that, but I'm going to try to do maybe the food tasting. Although that one might just be for everybody. Could be a good way to get extra content and views on the old YouTube channel and make our sponsors happy. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. And then, look, since you're going to join the Supporters Club, might as well hit the daily double and become a diehard member at alldls.com. I was checking the other day. The spring training special is officially over, but you can go to alldls.com/join, where you might find a special deal. Just laying there and hiding on our website. Let me see. Join. Click. Oh yeah, I would recommend you guys do that. But if you want to pay full price, scan the QR code or go to alldls.com. It'll take you through the process and get you all signed up. 12 months. You get to read everything. No firewall. You get 20% off of our merch. You get a free shirt. You can get our merch at store.allcitynetwork.com. We have some new. We can't say Rangers merch anymore. The Rangers got a little sensitive about that. So we're going to say we have some new merch for the team with the colors that represent the baseball team that plays in Arlington. Anyway, store.allcitynetwork.com. All right, guys, time to do some batting cleanup. And, well, there's a lot of stuff in here. But we will start with AAA Round Rock, which opened its season Friday against Sugar Land. Speaking of the Astros, Sugar Land's AAA team. They went 1-2 over the weekend. They won the opener. They lost Saturday in extra innings, and then yesterday they got kind of bombed 8-1. Cal Quantrill, 2 innings, 7 runs. So Cal's ERA is sitting at 31.50 after his first start. See how he, tries to get into shape and all that stuff. He hadn't pitched in a while, I don't think, but whatever. Anyway, a couple notes from the game, and we'll go in reverse order. Sunday, Josh Sports, he did allow a run on a homer, which is fine. He pitched 1 2/3 innings, which I thought was pretty interesting. It looks like the Rangers are maybe trying to build Josh up to pitch multiple innings, give him a better chance of making it back to the majors. Ryan Brazier, who the Rangers had re-signed to a minor league contract, what was it, Friday or Saturday? He tossed an inning and a third scoreless, the guy from Wichita Falls. Saturday's game, pretty eye-opening bullpen thing. Alexis Diaz, the guy signed to a major league deal to maybe be the Rangers' closer or a high-leverage reliever. He was terrible in spring training. He had a 1-2-3 inning against Sugar Land with his velo up to 95, and he got 2 strikeouts, one on a fastball, one on a slider. He stayed in the organization. There was some financial consideration there, but also could keep working on what he was working on with the people that he entrusted to work on it with. So keep an eye on him, all right? And then Justin Foscue doing what he does. He hits in the minors, right? He hit a home run Saturday. I think he had a double yesterday. Would love to see him figure it out. The 2020 first rounder, still on the 40-man. Something happens to Berger or something were to happen to, let's say, Jock Peterson. Opportunity for Foscue to get some DH at-bats in there. Maybe play a little second. You never know. Also in that game, Mark Church, Robbie Ahlstrom tossed scoreless innings. And a nice AAA debut for Josh Stephen, kid from South Grand Prairie High School, 5 innings, 2 runs in his AAA debut. That's pretty awesome. Friday, the thing that stood out to me, again from the bullpen where Austin Gomber pitched in relief, I'm betting that was just like, hey, get your feet wet. You're going to start on this upcoming homestand that Round Rock's going to open up their home schedule tomorrow. And then Louis Crivello closed that game out. So, hey, late inning stuff for him. We got an old friend update, and this is one of my, I just love the guy. Martin Perez is getting called up by the Atlanta Braves. They optioned Didier Fuentes, their young hotshot starter, who tossed 4 innings in relief yesterday, only allowed like 1 hit, was dominant. Perez is probably going to be in the same role, long man, a swing guy. They have injuries throughout the rotation and some couple guys who are borderline. Because of that, maybe Martin pushes his way into the rotation. Had a good spring. Fuentes is headed to AAA Gwinnett, which is the Round Rock opponent this week. So he's going to start Friday there. The Braves are going to try to build him up to be a starter. So go and see him pitch for the Stripers. Pretty good name there if you're a fisherman. And now a couple other old friend updates, and this was something that I saw in the chat. Adolis Garcia. Hey, we just saw 3 games of him. 1 for 11. Adolis went 2 RBIs, 0.91 average, and currently the rare situation where his on-base percentage is lower than his batting average, 0.83 on-base percentage. He's got a sacrifice fly in there, so he has only 11. He has 12 plate appearances and has only been on base the 1 time. Marcus Semien with the Mets, 2 for 11 with 2 RBIs. And then Jonah Heim got a start for the Fighting Braves, 0 for 2, but he walked twice and scored a run. All right. Addition by subtraction. All right, let's do some extension talk. All right. Nico Horner gets a 6-year, $141 million extension from the Cubs. The 4th largest in history for a second baseman. Number 1, Robinson Cano, 10 and 240. What a disaster that was for the Mariners. Semien, 7 and 175 from the Rangers, and then Jose Altuve, 7 and 163 from the Astros. Hey, Nico Horner. All right, beloved guy there with the Cubs, and a little PR maybe goes into that contract. The Orioles, they gave Shane, I always forget how to pronounce it, Baz or Baz, whatever, Shane B-A-Z. He got an extension, 5 years, $68 million. He was already down on the books through arbitration for 3.5 for this year, so the deal reworks that. He gets $1 million salary this year, but like a $4 million signing bonus, so he gets a little bit of a bump here. And then $7 million, $10 million, $21 million, and $25 million the next 4 years. I don't really think this has an effect on Jack Leiter if the Rangers were to do that, especially now, because Jack has more control left than Shane does, and he had a 47 ERA last year over 166 and 1/3 innings. All right, okay, that was his first full season back from Tommy John, and they went and got him. They traded with the Rays for him. So there you have that. Jack, we talked about 386 last year. Just seems like he has a little more leverage and potentially will have better numbers to take to a negotiation than Baz did. And now on the Hammett bone beat, Andrew Vaughn, he's the latest. He has a broken left Hammett bone. The Brewers' first baseman who was kind of lost with the White Sox. They traded him last year over to the Brewers, and he became like a star player. And just over half a season, had 21 homers. So anyway, he's got a broken Hammett bone. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And this is a kind of a blow to the Brewers because they're without Jackson Chourio for maybe up to a month with that broken bone in his hand. Jackson Holiday, updating on the Hammett bone situation. He's on a rehab assignment. I don't think he will be ready for the Rangers this week, though. Maybe. I didn't check, I'll be honest. The Royals, Carlos Estevez, he blew a big lead the other day against the Braves. Gave up 6 runs, including a grand slam to end it. And he also, in the process, got smoked in the ankle by a line drive. Well, apparently the Royals are flirting with taking him out of the closer's role until the ankle is better. He's been seen in a walking boot. So for those of you who have Carlos Estevez in the fantasy league that we've started, or in your own separate fantasy league, you may want to bench him. All right, we talked about the West. We got the Rangers at 2-1, and then 3 2-2 teams, and the 0-3 A's. The A's had that miscommunication in the outfield that kind of doomed them in the opener on Friday, and then blew a lead and lost an extra inning Saturday, and then went and got beat yesterday. So the Fighting A's not off to a great start. All right, questions. There was one about Adolis. I think, Tyler, did you ask about Adolis? It would have been like first segment, Elijah. I think I saw. It was long, too. All right. Yeah. Nope. Well, anyway, something about Adolis's inability to catch the ball. On that play in Saturday's game on the Higashioka, or yesterday's game, the Higashioka little pop-up. You just lost it in the sun, man. It's hard to play outside, especially when you've been inside for the last, 5 years. There we go. I wasn't known if the sun's playing an issue. The days of wondering, gambling, you almost wonder if an Emmanuel Clase thing was going on. Oh, Rob, that was you. That wasn't. Hey, I like your conspiracy theory, Rob, but I think Adolis just lost it. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. He looked a lot bigger in his arms and chest, but I think he skipped some leg days in the offseason. That was my observation. Home opener rarity, rain, closed roof. You know how much I love that. I absolutely love it. Shane, yeah, we talked about this. I was checking my email. Seriously. Do you live on the East Coast, Shane? Because if you do, well, we'll have to wait probably for a while. But if you're in Texas, I'll let you buy me a beer Saturday. All right. Where else are we at? Yeah, Benny Quantrill got beat up yesterday. He sure did. Rarities. I love having McCutchen on the team. Me too. I hope, not just because he's playing well. He just seems like a great guy. And I hope that he, he's 39. I hope he finds a fountain of youth, like, that movie Cocoon that was so old. Maybe he can take a dip in a magic swimming pool and just continue to play forever because he's a good guy. That's again my number one way of how I judge players. Are they a good guy? And I want McCutchen around for a long time because he is a good guy. Benny, I guess we'll see Evan Carter playing back-to-back games. Yeah, with the right-hander, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if he sees if he gets to pitch gets to face Rogers on Wednesday. You could see 3 in a row from Carter because, as I responded to your tweet yesterday, Skip Schumacher said Thursday Carter is going to face left-handers. He just was not going to face Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo, who are just really tough matchups for left-handed hitters. So don't get too negative yet, Benny. Don't get too negative. We got to let it play out a little bit more. The A's struck out 50-plus times in that series against the Blue Jays. Sounds like I might have to go to Prize Picks and maybe bet on the over strikeouts on whoever they're facing today against the Braves. We're a lot of buyers. See, I had a lot of agreements. I like that. All right. Take it to the bank even. Holy smokes. Rob, Luke Jackson had only 9 saves last year. Yeah, see about the same for Garcia. Garcia had 9 saves last year. Charles, I don't want Garcia to have 15 save opportunities. That's pretty good. I like that. But yeah, he didn't get the job done with the 2 right-handed hitters. But again, so how do you want to look at this? That game Saturday should have been 3-0, right? Jake Berger's going to catch that ball 99 out of 100 times. It just didn't happen. This was the one time, and it got out of control after that. But still, you'd want a guy to come in and just dominate, right? You want Duran, who ended up losing that game, but you still want. I'd take him obviously over just a lot of guys in this league. So I don't know. It's a half glass full. Well, how about a quarter full and 3/4 empty? That's the way I'm going to go with that one. How many challenges did Angel Hernandez have in that Rangers-Astros game 2 years ago? Well, he would have had 3 and 1 at bat. Although I think Wyatt probably would have, shrugged off the first one, but then the next 2. Because I watched that at bat the other day on the Twitter. Somebody might have said something similar to what you did, and it just got worse and worse. It just unbelievable. Yeah, deGrom is going to be fine. I agree with you. Chill on deGrom. I agree he's going to be fine. All About Sports Zone. How about the Dominic Smith Grand Slam? Well, he hit it off of Estevez, and his mom who just passed away because of cancer 2 weeks ago. Said he felt pretty could feel her presence, if you will. And shoot, that's a tough one. But those are fun. I don't know, fun stories. Those are nice stories. If you feel an extra sense of motivation to do well and it pushes you and you want to honor her or anybody you've lost, that's always pretty cool. All right, Shane is traveling down for the Twin Series in June. Book it, Shane. All right, book it. We'll go get a beer during the game, before the game, after the game. You're in. All right, that's it for now. That's it for the show. I really need to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one. But, hey, thanks for joining us. And we're going to be back. Wednesday's going to be a post-game show. So it'll probably be around 2:30 or 3. We're going to do a post-game show Wednesday. Friday, I will be at the ballpark. We're going to go at 1 o'clock. Yeah, we'll do an hour there. It'll kind of serve as a pregame show, I guess. But maybe we can get in a food video in that one, too. Maybe we can get an interview in on the field and then put it on the show. Something like that. We'll see how we do it. But anyway, that's it for me, Jeff Wilson. Thanks to Elijah the Prophet, as always. And we will talk to you Wednesday after the game on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.